I would consider my 2024 garden an epic fail, but I'm doing some things in 2025 to prevent those things from happening, and I'm going to tell you my pros and cons from this garden year. Starting with the cons for 2024 garden year, the first thing is my spring and summer seedlings did not grow bigger. So they started out great as seedlings. They were perfect to transplant, but once I transplanted them, they did not get bigger. And if they did get bigger, the growth was very slow. So if I transplanted a tomato plant in April, that plant didn't give me fruit until like October, which is crazy. But I'm going to tell you why. Like, just hold on. I'm going to tell you why the plants was tripping. Another con is I basically got no harvest. I did get a few things, right? So I got like 2 small pumpkins. I got some tomatoes here, some peppers there. But compared to the year prior and what my expectations was, I feel like it was a no harvest. Like, it was a no harvest year, which is crazy because I put so much time, energy, and effort into this garden. Like, it had me in tears. I was crying at one point because I just felt so defeated and overwhelmed. So after the spring and summer, I mustered up the strength and encouraged myself to start a fall garden. I started my seedlings, lettuce, brassicas, collards, all of the fall gardens. Beautiful. When I say the seedlings were beautiful, they were beautiful. And I transplanted them because I thought I fixed my problem. I thought I had fixed my problem. So I was like, okay, we're good. I kind of did fix my problem though. But when I transplanted them, they were 8. The chipmunks, the squirrels, I don't know what it was. I really think it's the chipmunks because the squirrels haven't messed with my plants. But the chipmunks ate my things down to the stem. My bok choy, my cabbage, collards, broccoli, everything was ate down. Like, they couldn't even grow. It wasn't even enough leaves to grow and produce anything else. So my fall garden was 8 and I didn't have a harvest from the fall garden. I still have some plants out there I just left, but I kind of gave up on that too. So that's another con. And the main con and the main takeaway that I feel like I have from 2024 garden season is I did not trust my intuition. I got soil delivered. It was tons and tons of soil. Like, it took up our entire driveway, and it took babe about a month and a half to move the soil. I ordered this soil. It's great soil. You can look at the soil. It has wood chips and everything. But when I saw the wood chips, I originally thought, wood chips can deplete nitrogen. I should probably add nitrogen to the soil. But I was like, this is new soil. It has compost. It's new. It's good. It should be fine. I started seeing different signs, like certain leaves was turning yellow. The plants wasn't growing as fast as they were before I transplanted them into the new soil. So I was just like, I feel like it's nutrient deficient, but I didn't trust my intuition. I was like, it's new soil, it's new soil. And literally it cost me so much time, money, and energy. I spent so much money on that soil, but I also spent so much time on starting my plants, organizing my plants, transplanting my plants. I spent so much time and energy, and if I just would have trusted my intuition, I would have had a successful garden season, but I did not. So those are my cons. So some of the pros that I have, like 2024 was not a harvest year for me, but I did get a lot of things that I feel like will set me up for success in the future years to come. The first pro that I have to say is I created a system that works. Like, I created an entire database to keep track of what seeds I have, when to start the seeds, when to transplant the seeds, the different varieties, everything, like good companion plants to plant with it. Everything that I need to know about a certain seed or plant, I have a database filled with that information. I have a great organization system with my seeds separated based off of variety. I also created a system for when to start seeds, when to direct sow them. So I have little bags. It's not like a rocket science system, but it is a system that works. It creates less stress, and I'm able to do things for the garden and plan for a garden in a way where it's not feeling too overwhelming. Another pro for this garden season is I expanded my varieties. I didn't get to harvest the varieties, but I expanded the varieties of different plants that I had. So some problems that I may have had from the previous garden season, I took into account when buying seeds for 2024. So like, I may have experienced blight. I got some tomato varieties that were blight resistant or that tolerated blight differently. Another pro to this year is I got more beds, raised beds, and bags, which mean I have more growing space. So I grow predominantly in raised beds and grow bags, but I had to get more because of all that soil I got delivered. We had to have somewhere to put it. And what that means for me is the more bags and the more raised beds I have, the more growing space I have, which means I can feed my family more, preserve more, and grow more plants for this upcoming season. Also, another pro to this season is that I have a seed starting station that works. Like, Babe built me one. It has the mylar sheets, the shelves, the lighting. It has everything that it needs to start really great seeds. I started with certain grow lights and heat mats that my seedlings weren't the healthiest, but you know, they survived. This growing station, I'm confident in. It produced beautiful seedlings. I'm able to start seeds there with ease and not have to worry about certain things. And it's in a location that I don't have to walk up and down flights of stairs. It's just an ideal seed starting station and seedling growing station that I feel like is a really great thing that came from this season. Also, another pro to this gardening season is I feel like I mastered seed starting. As many seeds as I had to start because they kept dying or just not producing in the garden, I kept restarting seeds. So I feel like I know how to start seeds and grow seedlings in the best way. Like, I feel like I mastered it. I have grown different varieties. I have grown different types, from tomatoes to melons to peppers to lettuce to from fall, spring, summer crops. I started and they thrived and they were beautiful. And the problem was the garden, not the seed starting. So I feel like I really mastered seed starting. And the last thing that I feel like is a really big takeaway from this garden season that's a pro is that I got my soil tested. I heard people talk about it. I was just like, no, my soil fine. My plants are fine. I'll figure it out. I could have stopped this problem or got ahead of it if I didn't want to trust my intuition. All I had to do was get my soil tested and I could have fixed my problem in the middle of the season. And it exactly what I thought it was. It was the nitrogen. My phosphorus, everything else is perfect in a garden. If not, it's a little high. But my nitrogen was the problem, which is in control of the plant's growth and health for the most part. So if I would have trusted my intuition or got my soil tested, which I did, then I would have had a successful garden season. So a pro is that I got my soil tested. It was $10 and it came back in like 2 weeks, and it's going to save me lots of time, lots of energy this next growing season. So some of my plans for the 2025 growing season, of course, I am going to use my database that I created. I am going to start my own seeds. I started to get a little weary and was like, well, maybe I don't know how to start seeds properly if everything's dying, but it was not my seed starting. It was my actual soil. The main thing I'm going to do is dress my soil. I am adding nitrogen in my soil this upcoming early spring, late winter to really get the nitrogen in there. And I'm gonna make sure I heavy load it with nitrogen, not where it burns my plants, but that I'm putting enough nitrogen in my soil to see a successful harvest. Also, I'm going to get ahead of pests. I did realize that some pests did eat my little small seedlings. So what I'm going to do is put DE around the base of the plants when I transplant them. And then I'm going to cover my other crops that are kind of bigger that I feel like chipmunks or something may eat them. I'm going to cover them, like my leafy greens and stuff. They don't mess with the tomatoes and bell peppers, which those are the ones I'll put the DE around. But for the plants that the chipmunks or other little rodents are eating, I am going to cover them. That's going to be important, especially for the fall crops and the spring crops. So I'm going to make sure that this growing season, I take a lot of preventative measures, like I said, to get ahead of the pests, to get ahead of the rodents, covering, putting DE out, dressing my beds and dressing my bags, just getting ahead of things and doing a lot of preventative things versus reactive things when it's kind of too late. And I'm going to trust my intuition. Like if my intuition tells me something is not right or to get something tested, I am going to do it and not just say, oh, I'll hold out and keep waiting a few weeks, because those few weeks cost me my harvest. I am confident that I will have the best harvest that I have ever had with putting different things that I have learned in this season. Every season you wish to grow and to harvest things, but some seasons for me is about learning. So 2023 garden season was a successful garden, but I wanted to be pregnant. I wanted to have a baby, and I was like, dang, I can't grow a baby, but I could grow a garden. And then 2024 came around and I am pregnant and having a baby, and I'm like, dang, I could grow a baby, but I can't grow a garden. I think 2025 is the year that I will obviously grow a baby, because the baby will be here, and help the baby be healthy and amazing. But I also will have an amazing, healthy garden, because I have learned the things that I ignored prior. So I am confident that I will have the harvest of a lifetime, I'm hoping, right, by taking into account all of the things I learned in the years where I didn't have a harvest. Make sure you stick around to see how 2025 garden season treats me, as I'll be starting seeds, transplanting, and I'll be sharing everything with you all. If you have any questions, comments, or concern about gardening, let me know below and I'll be sure to help you out.